Hi, it's Veronica. Today I wanted to talk to you about vitamin C. If you've been following our Facebook page, you probably saw the article that I posted about vitamin C and supplementing with vitamin C. It's a really great resource if you want to find out the science behind vitamin C, why it works, how it works, what the dosages are, and why you might want to supplement your pet with vitamin C. Now, I have vitamin C in my own home. I have done research, extensive research on it, and my research really just started about, wanting to find out about vitamin C for myself. So the more I researched it, the more that I found information about its use in pets as well. And so I'm just going to share with you what I do. Certainly I'm not recommending that you do it, but I am encouraging you to, maybe if it piques your interest, to do some of your own research into it and, learn about the benefits of vitamin C and see if it's something that you think is right for your pet. So I do not use vitamin C on a daily basis, and I'll tell you why. Dogs make their own vitamin C. It's called ascorbic acid. So they make their own in their bodies. They have their own stores of it. I like to think that this is the reason why dogs are so incredibly healthy. Like in comparison to humans, they're not getting sick. They don't have, they don't go through cold and flu season with a cold every other week, or the flu, or, they're just, considering what dogs do and some of the things that they get into and everything, right? They're really resilient. Now humans, on the other hand, we have the gene for making ascorbic acid, but it's turned off. So we don't make our own ascorbic acid. We have to bring it in. So if we want to benefit from the antioxidant properties of vitamin C and how it boosts our immune system, we have to bring in vitamin C in order to benefit from it, right? So again, I don't use it on a daily basis, but I'll use it when I'm concerned, right? So I had this situation, the first situation I used it, and there were many more situations where I used it, but and I've seen the benefit of it for my pets. But the first situation where I used it was with a female dog of ours that had come out of her heat cycle, and she suddenly developed diarrhea and vomiting, and she was off food. She didn't have a fever. That kind of, there are some things that I do. Now, I've been working with animals for 20 years. I've worked at a veterinary hospital. I have experience with dogs, and so there are some things that I look at to determine, okay, do I have a real emergency here that I need to, we need to go to the vet right away, or is this something that I can try and see, with some extra support if I can help them through? So, what I did was I started giving her the vitamin C. Now, I started off with something called sodium ascorbate. It's this right here, sodium ascorbate, vitamin C, right? So this is the kind that they actually recommend for dogs. There's a new kind though. There's a newer kind, and I think it's even better. But, so the sodium ascorbate is a powder. Right. So what I did was I had mixed this powder in with a little bit of bone broth. So she wasn't wanting to eat, she wasn't wanting to drink, but I gave her something a little bit different, something that tastes like chicken. And so she did drink it. I only gave a little bit though, right? Because I want her to get the whole dose of the vitamin C that I was giving. So I only gave her maybe like 1/3 of a cup of the broth. So this is bone broth, right? So I make this myself. It's just in a crock pot. You put all your old chicken bones, right? If you have a rotisserie chicken, you have whatever, save your bones, put them in the freezer, and put them in the crock pot, cover it up with just like an inch of water, and let it go for overnight. And so here I have this bone broth. It's very gelatinous. It's really full of a lot of nutrients. So this is another thing. We'll talk about that another day. So I gave her just a little bit of this, and I took the ascorbic acid with a little spoon, this is probably half a teaspoon, and I mixed it in there. And I started off with half a teaspoon because ascorbic acid, or sodium ascorbate, is at saturation, right? They can get diarrhea at saturation. So the symptom of saturation, which saturation is a good thing, is a little bit loose stool. Okay, and then so what we do is if we get that, we cut the dose down a little bit, you know, but the diarrhea doesn't last very long. So if you cut the dose back down a little bit, you give less next time, right? So I was giving her a half a teaspoon of this, and she's probably about 10 pounds every hour. So then she stopped wanting to drink the broth, and so I was, you know, by the third time she wouldn't drink it, I was like, okay, we got to try something else. So this is another type. This is the other type that I was telling you about. It's called Lypo-Spheric vitamin C. This is an encapsulated vitamin C, right? So it's encapsulated in fat, which actually makes it, this is the packet. I don't know if you can see that. So, which actually makes it better. So it's absorbed into the cells, right? More readily absorbed into the cells than this stuff, because this stuff has to go through your, or their digestive system. Same thing with humans, but it has to go through their digestive system. So they don't get everything. They don't get the whole dose. But this, they get almost the whole dose because it goes right into the cell because of the way that it is formulated. Right? So I switched to this because I knew that something was going on with her digestive system anyway, right? So let's not mess around with that. Let's just go to this stuff. And now this stuff is, it's about $30 for a box of this. There's 30 packets in here, and it's about, well, maybe about $33, right? So it's expensive, but it's what I consider would be like the big guns, right? Like you would use this if you have a concern and you just want to go right to the strongest thing that you can get. This is what I would use. So what I did, and this is a gel. What I did was I took this packet and I put the gel in a shot glass, and then I used a medicine syringe, and I sucked it out and I gave it to her that way. Now, if your dog is really picky, but if you can get them to eat something, you can get a little bit of canned dog food and fold it into the canned dog food. Don't mix it, because when you mix it, it kind of can interfere with the with the way that this is made, right? So you want to kind of like fold it in there and let them eat it. Now, what ended up happening was after 4 packets, she completely recovered, 100% recovered. And this has been my experience with using this type of vitamin C with my dogs. So if there's something going on, I'm really not sure what's going on, and I want to, again, just give them a little bit of a boost, this has always just been my tried and true method of being able to do that safely and effectively, you know. And you know, if you have to use common sense, right? My dogs are going to start because my husband just walked in, but you have to use common sense, right? So if your dog is still, you know, they're off, there's some things going on, but they're still playful, and you know your dog, you know when something is really wrong, and you know that you can know when, you know, let me just try it and see what happens, see if it works, right? So I want to, again, just encourage you to do your own research on it. Know that this is something that at Renaissance Heavenese, I use this, and it works. It's worked for our dogs. Consider it. Consider doing the research, and consider talking to your veterinarian. Not most veterinarians might not know about this, but maybe integrative veterinarians might know about it. Maybe you have a nutritionist or somebody you can talk to about it, like maybe at the pet health food store, for instance, or a holistic veterinarian might know a little bit more about this, and you might want to look into it deeper. Okay, this is Veronica, Renaissance Havanese. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.